Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum students. Today we will discuss another topic of gaseous exchange, and that is mechanism of breathing. So what is breathing? Breathing is a process through which animals take air in to get oxygen from it and then give out air to get rid of carbon dioxide. Mechanism of breathing include two phases. The first one is the inhalation and the second one is the exhalation. But before going to start this lecture, I want you to understand fully the structure of lungs. There is a pair of lungs in our chest cavity. Our lungs is surrounded by our rib cage. There is a 12 pair of ribs are present in our body. The muscles of ribs are called intercostal muscle. There is one more muscle which play a very crucial role in the mechanism of breathing, and that is diaphragm muscles. Diaphragm muscle lie below the lungs. The left lung is slightly smaller than the right lung because the left lung has 2 lobes and the right lung have 3 lobes. The lungs are the spongy organs and these are surrounded by membranes. The outer membrane is known as outer pleural membrane and the inner membrane is known as inner pleural membrane. There is a fluid between the outer pleural membrane and the inner pleural membrane. And what is the function of that fluid? Its function is to provide lubrication during the expansion and contraction of lungs. So, let's start the mechanism of breathing. The first one is the inhalation. So, what happens during inhalation? As I have told you earlier, the inhalation is a process during which animals take air in to get oxygen. So, during inhalation, the intercostal muscles relax. When the intercostal muscle relax, the ribs are raised. Diaphragm also contracts, and when diaphragm contracts, it moves down. When diaphragm moves down and ribs are raised, then there is an increase of the space in our thoracic cavity. When there is a space in the thoracic cavity, then our lungs expand, and when lungs expand, pressure on the lungs decreases. So, to stabilize the pressure between the lungs and the environment, we inhale air in the lungs. So, this is all about inhalation. The other phase is exhalation. So, what happens during exhalation? During exhalation, the intercostal muscles relax. And when the intercostal muscles relax, then ribs move down. Diaphragm muscles also relax, and when diaphragm relaxes, it comes to its original dome-shaped position and it moves up. This increases the pressure on the lungs as the volume decreases. So again, to equalize the pressure between the lungs and the environment, we exhale air. So during exhalation, the impure air expelled out of the body. The normal breathing rate of human is 16 to 20 times per minute. It is during normal circumstances when we are at rest. But during exercise, our breathing rate increases from 30 to 40 times per minute. And why our breathing rate increases this much? Because our breathing rate is controlled by the respiratory center in our brain. This respiratory center is very crucial to the concentration of carbon dioxide in the blood. When we do exercise, our muscle cells carry out cellular respiration. And when they carry cellular respiration, then there is an increase in the concentration of carbon dioxide in blood. So when we start exercise, our muscles carry out cellular respiration on its own. So there is an increase in the concentration of carbon dioxide in our blood. So the respiratory center sends signals to the intercostal muscles and the diaphragm to increase the rate of breathing. That is why our breathing rate increases during exercise. Now I am going to show you a video for better understanding of this mechanism. Here is the video. The physical movements associated with the gaseous exchange are called breathing. There are 2 phases of breathing, inhalation and the second is exhalation. The muscles included in the mechanism of breathing are diaphragm and intercostal muscles. The muscle used for breathing is the diaphragm. The diaphragm is the dome-shaped structure consisting of several large muscles which is present between the chest cavity and the abdomen. To exhale air, the diaphragm relaxes and moves up while intercostal muscle relax, forcing the ribcage down. This combined effect of muscle decreases the volume of chest cavity and contracts the lung, so air from the lungs is expelled out. To inhale air, the diaphragm contracts and moves down while the intercostal muscles contract and forcing the ribcage up. This combined effect of intercostal muscle and the diaphragm increases the volume of the chest cavity and expands the lungs. This expansion of the lungs increases their volume while decreasing the air pressure. So air from outside goes into the lungs, and this is known as inhalation. So students, this is all of today's lecture. See you till the next lecture. Allah Hafiz.